Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. I hope all of you understand as to why I predicted 1-1 in my preview yesterday. I thought that it would end this way, but I have to be honest, what I thought in my head was the reason why we would draw 1-1 was different to how it ended up playing out today and still ending up 1-1. And I'll get to why very, very shortly. But before we do, I want to let you know, don't forget, hit the links in the description. Make sure you're following me on Twitter and Instagram. I was active on Twitter earlier on during the game at times. And then especially after the game too, I decided to wait. Because I wanted to hear what a certain manager had to say about certain things that happened during that game. And boy, did I get an answer. Not for the good sense, but for the bad sense, unfortunately, which is going to lead me on to something a little later on because I'm not happy at all. I am not happy at all. I'm happy about one little thing, which I'm going to start off with very, very shortly. Going into the game, finishing West Ham 1, Chelsea 1. The way that we started, right, those first 15, 20 minutes looked beautiful, right? Beautiful. Up until when West Ham scored, it was class, right? You could see how much more we were looking forward. You could see how more direct we were. You could see the amount of through balls being picked out. You could see the vision. You could see the movement. You could see speed. You could see collaboration. You could see link-ups. You could see everything, right? It was great. From the new signings, Enzo, Felix, those two. Our goal in itself reminded me of Fabregas's pass to Schürrle, to an extent, kind of. Not quite, but that link-up that you used to see between Fabregas, Costa, Lampard, Drogba, those midfielder forward man link-ups. Beautiful ball in from Enzo. The build-up in before that was really nice. And then Enzo picks out a pass. Felix gets in, manages to finish it beautifully, and it's 1-0 to Chelsea. But then, after that, once we concede a very sloppy goal, and I know people are going to be blaming Cucurella on the fact that he didn't close the cross in hard or aggressive enough. Understandable, because Cucurella had a really bad game today. But Reece James was sleeping. Have to be honest here. Reece James was sleeping on the other side. And hence why Emerson managed to find the space and just went in and the ball came straight to him. No pressure at all. Finishes it, slots it in. And can I say, Emerson, fair play to him for not celebrating. I do appreciate that, because Emerson at Chelsea wasn't exactly, lighting up the place. It was a situation where he was always second best. He was always second choice, sometimes third. And, he acted professional enough, I felt. It didn't cause a fuss. And now he scored today and he chose not to celebrate. So for that, respect to Emerson. And he played really well today. For West Ham, he played really, really well. But after that, it all began to go wrong. West Ham, right, made one tactical switch after they scored. They scored, and then they made one switch. You could see they doubled up on Enzo. So all of a sudden it was 2, not 1, going on to Enzo. They packed out the midfield a little bit more. They became a little bit more compact between defence and midfield, closed those lines, sat a little deeper, and were not just, sitting back waiting for the opportunity, but they were just using their forward men to try and get the ball back and then launch a counter-attack. As soon as they changed their shape, we had no response. We went back to type. And to be honest, we went back to type in terms of us not reacting to what West Ham have done, which is similar to previous games where we see something different from the opponent and we just stay the same. We don't actually do anything to change anything. And then it gets into the second half, and then we go back to type. That's where we actually go back to type, right? We go back to putting certain players on the pitch, taking certain players off, and we went back to type. Now, I'm going to start this section of the video with a quote from a very, very wise man that unfortunately has left us, and has left us for a little while now. Very, very well-known fan, let's say, and someone I've had the pleasure to meet and someone that I had the pleasure to talk to and get to know at least on a level. But to quote, let me just say, there was a wise man that once said, "It's time to go." Yes, it's time to go. Claude, up there, who's no longer with us. But that quote needs to be brought back today. Because everything that went down from after that West Ham scored and then from the substitutions onwards, I'm not even going to look at the team. Graham Potter today proved to me he's not it. He's not it. I'm convinced now he's not it. He needs to go. Done. And not just in terms of what happened during the game, but what happened after the game. That's where that grinded my gears. Because during the game, okay, yes, as I said, the first 20 minutes and whatnot, although it's the same story that we get to the second half, right? Second half starts and all of a sudden everything goes worse. What does that tell you? There's a famous line, right? A famous quote, a famous, I want to say a philosophy, right? But the way it just works, and I see it like that, the first half belongs to the players, the second half belongs to the manager, right? And I think today was a prime example of that because the game started and there were certain players in our attack, including Enzo as well, that just looked fantastic, right? And I know people are going to shun on Mudrik's performance, but again, going to Graham Potter, we decided to take Cucurella off and we think, okay, if we take Cucurella off, cool. Bring Chilwell on and that might actually help Mudryk because Mudryk had no overlap, no underlap, no support, nothing. The moment that Cucurella decides to bomb forward, something drastic happens, right? And Mudryk is just caught under pressure. Or something happens, there's no support. Mudryk had to do everything himself in that role without any support from his fullback. You think you bring Chilwell on, who's going to be a little bit more assertive going forward, who's going to be able to overlap a little bit better, put in the crosses a little bit better, which allows Mudryk to maybe cut in a little bit more, which is what he tends to do and tends to like to do because he likes to take men on if he can just go inwards. He didn't have any space or allowance to move inwards today because Cucurella was having a shocker. So I was thinking, I know all of you were thinking, all right, take Cucurella off, bring Chilwell on, and then we'll see how it works out. Nah, Graham Potter, no, forget that. We'll take Cucurella off, right? Cool. We'll bring Chilwell on, but then we'll take Mudryk off and we'll put Mason Mount left wing. Alright? Okay. Alright. And then Mason Mount goes left wing, decides to get one ball in, which, by the way, everything he touched today went wrong as well, but that's become the norm, so I'm not going to go into it. But one chance that he did get where he managed to get the ball into the box on the left-hand side, Ziyech is there. The one thing that we saw from Enzo today, vision. Mudryk even, to Kai Havertz in that first half, vision. Madueke, even, vision. Even Loftus-Cheek at times, fair play, vision. Sometimes Loftus-Cheek would make a pass and it's too soft or it's overhit or it's gone straight to the defender, but there's sometimes where it actually made it through. Vision. Right, at least, especially the new guys. I'm going to quote the new guys because the new guys look flawless. The new guys look all look decent. And I know, as I said, people are going to shun on Mudryk, but I think there's circumstances. Mason Mount, on the left-hand side, all he has to do... Oh, you're there, mate. Square. Nah, not Mount. Ziyech is by himself. It would have been 2-1. It would have been 2-1. Nah, forget that though. No, we'll send it more inwards. We'll send it back to the D, right? And the ball will get intercepted and it'll disappear. Nice. Great. Cheers. And that's the thing. We bring on players that are just not going to make a difference. Except for Chilwell, because Chilwell was the correct substitution. We take off Mudryk, we bring on Mount. And then during the same set of substitutions, we take off Madueke, we take off Loftus-Cheek, we bring on Ziyech. For that I can understand because Madueke was looking leggy. Towards that part of the second half, you could just see he was getting a little bit more clumsy, a little bit slower. When we're launching an attack or we try to move, he looks a little bit heavy. It's like he's dragging his legs and that comes with tiredness and it's kind of maybe... He's not adapted to the Premier League yet, and that's kind of normal. The Premier League is very, very physical, and that was the reason why I said we draw, right? Because it's very physical, and I feel like West Ham were going to come with nothing but physicality, but I think West Ham did a little bit more than that. And then, we bring on Conor Gallagher. So Chukwuemeka has no reason to be on the pitch then. Just saying. But no, we bring on Gallagher because he's going to change the game. This is the thing. Everything that Potter done... I'm not even going to blame Gallagher or Mason Mount or any of these guys, to be honest. And one thing I have to say about Mason Mount is, again, just like Graham Potter, after the game, right? What's this laughing business? We perform like that in the second half. No one's happy, but this guy starts going over to West Ham players, hugging them. Hey, oh, bloody fantastic, isn't it? All the Chelsea lads, and fair play to the others, all looked like they were a bit like down, right? Or gutted, or peed off. Mount... Yeah, fantastic. What? Nah, I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it. Proper Chelsea. Yeah, proper Chelsea. And as I've said, look, I don't want to look into that too much because I don't expect ultra loyalty from players. I've made this clear before. People making the point, that no, this player, we got to keep this player because he's proper Chelsea. Like, that doesn't apply to anyone in my books, right? Even a Reece James is a top player. We know what he can do. He's fantastic. So I've got no issue with Reece James. But I can guarantee that if it really came down to it, just like Mason Mount now, where he's in a contract negotiation, he's going to look for his own career first before Chelsea Football Club. He's going to put himself first before Chelsea Football Club. You could argue there were players in the past that would probably put the club before themselves. But nowadays, it's going to be very, very, very rare to find one professional footballer that doesn't put their career first, you know? And now, hence why these contract negotiations don't seem like they're moving, because he's not getting what he wants. So much for putting Chelsea first, so much for being proper Chelsea, I'll be in no matter what. It's unrealistic. So I'm not expecting Mount to be, completely dedicated. But again, today was even more proof in the pudding. Laughing and joking after a second half like that, nah. But Graham Potter done something very similar, which I'll come to it very, very shortly. But those substitutions and the way we were playing, and you could see West Ham and their substitutions and what they done, they became a lot more physical in the second half. They started bringing on men that are a little bit more bigger, a little bit more taller, a little bit more stronger. Danny Ings, for example, they made a very brave substitution to take off Ben Rama and Antonio and bring on Danny Ings, right? And Downs. You're thinking, hang on, Antonio, Ben Rama looked good. Took them off. And what happened? West Ham did get a second goal, albeit it was marked offside because of VAR. Now, Chelsea in that first half, in those first 20 minutes, with the way that we were playing in those first 15, 20 minutes, we scored 3, including the goal that actually did count, right? So you got to look at that. Players can ball. But later on, circumstances change during the game. West Ham's shape changes during the game. Things start to look a little bit shaky for Chelsea. Graham Potter has no answer. No answer whatsoever. And then we get into the final 10 minutes, as I've said, and all of a sudden it's 2-1 to West Ham, and luckily it got ruled out. But this Chelsea team is better than this, man. Including the signings. Before, people were going, we ain't got the players. Now we've got players that have come back from injury. We've got all the new signings literally on the pitch. They're playing. They're looking good for a certain amount of time. And then all of a sudden later, it just stops. Enzo, for example, first 20 minutes, was all over the place. Balling. West Ham changed their shape, and all of a sudden, Enzo is in prison again. And you could see. He wasn't going forward like he was in those first 20 because West Ham were not allowing it. But did Chelsea have an answer? No. And that was a scenario into the second half and until the end of the game. And even then, Enzo did get man of the match, so fair play to Enzo because he does deserve that. But there were West Ham players that deserved man of the match too, Emerson being one of them. So I have to look at the bench here, man. Graham Potter done everything wrong in the second half. And then we get to what happened towards the end, and then we get to what he said after the game. We get to a point where VAR were an absolute disgrace today, right? The refereeing was a shambles. By the way, Kufau did Kufau even get booked in the end? I have to say, he did. He did get a yellow card in the end, didn't he? Well, he should have been sent off. If he got a yellow card eventually, mate, there were 2 challenges he should have got booked for. Ref wasn't budging. But anyway, there's a certain situation that was even more serious that we need to talk about. So forget Kufau and the yellow card. That penalty that Chelsea were meant to get. Conor Gallagher hits the ball low, goes into the box, heading towards goal, and Souček decides to go down. And as he's going down, yes, he puts his hand blatantly in a position where he knew that he was going to block the ball. It wasn't just for the fact that he was dropping to the ground and he needed support. He knew exactly where it was going. It was obvious, right? He was looking, and then he put his hand there, and then it hits his hand, and then he moves his hand. Blatant. But okay, the referee, you've not seen it. Craig Dawson, you've not seen it. Not a problem. VAR should step in, right? Just like they did for the offside, where they took about half an hour to make a decision on an offside that was blatantly offside. They didn't even check to see if that was handball. It was blatant. Everyone and their mother saying it's a pen. It's a pen. Blatant pen. VAR don't do anything. Game goes on. And then we get to the end of the game. It finishes 1-1. I got my prediction right, unfortunately. And then we get to Graham Potter and what he's got to say after the game about it. We get to Graham Potter. And I can't believe what I've heard. I cannot believe what I've heard. When a decision is there like that, and then we hear Graham Potter, and I'm going to quote, saying, it looks a penalty, but these are little things that need to go in your favour. At the moment, they're not. That's life. Nothing to complain about there. What? And then we hear from all sorts of pundits and everyone that was commenting after he said that, Rio Ferdinand was absolutely spot on. Rio Ferdinand was saying, if that's Mourinho, for example, he's in the papers tomorrow morning after that press conference. You can negate the performance by setting the tone in the press conference. Comments after the game are crucial if you do want to protect your squad and you want to protect your team from a performance that wasn't up to par. But it's not just that. Even just me, my nature, right? I see a decision like that. I think it's obvious. I'm not scared to take the fine. Graham Potter, you're on 12 million a year. 12 million a year, take the fine and speak your mind. If it's blatant, it's obvious, it was a stonewall penalty, blatant handball, I'm sorry, but after the game, I see that I'm coming to the press, and I'm going, that's an obvious handball. Why it didn't go to VAR is an absolute disgrace. This cannot happen in the Premier League again. If not, it's going to affect certain performances for certain teams in this league where they deserve a result and they don't get it because of a certain someone in a box somewhere that's going to affect the game and just negate the complete performance of a team where they might actually deserve a result because of one geezer in a box that decides to not take it to VAR. I'm not going to allow it. And that's how you assert yourself. And if the FA or the Premier League want to impose a fine on you, take the fine. What are they going to do? Fine you 100k? Wow, big deal. You're on 12 million a year. 12 million a year. Okay, you're not going to get 12 million this year then. You're going to get 11,900,000 instead. Is that such a big deal? But he doesn't. He's so passive. He just takes it. That's life. That's life. I'm sorry, man. No, I can't anymore. I'm sorry. That can't continue. It can't continue. How in the blue hell do you want this team to get motivated to a certain extent, or this team to feel fire when you see your manager giving comments like this? I don't understand. Take the fine. Speak your mind. It's obvious. Now, I'm not saying speak your mind on every single little thing. Of course, you don't want to get fined every week. But when it's obvious, when it's clear as day, as crystal, like this one was, I'm sorry, protect your squad, protect your team, protect your club. And if it means you're going to get punished, get punished. Punish me. And what? Fine me. Cool. Oh, I'll miss one game. We're 10th anyway. I'll miss one game on the touchline. Fine, I'll take it. But at least I say what needs to be said so it doesn't happen again. This guy's just gone, no, that's life. That's life. Oh, honestly, man. And that proved to me the second half, the way we managed it, the way we mismanaged it, and the comments afterwards. Sorry. Not Chelsea material. Not Chelsea material. And it's not going to get better. We've got 2 wins in 13 league games. What's going on? What is going on? Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I don't have words. And it's convincing me now that even with these new signings, even with all of this, when you can't manage them, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not. So at this point, look, I'm going to start looking at alternative options. I'm going to start analysing who I think would be better placed to come in and replace Graham Potter. And I think the ownership needs to start doing the same because it's not going to get better. This guy's not cut out for the job. And my initial assessment and fear when he took the job was, and you can go back to that video when I was away and I was in Turkey and I was telling you guys what I was feeling. I was saying, I wish him the best. I like him as a person. I hope this job's not too big for him. Those were my exact words. Back when he was hired on day one, I hope this job isn't too big for him. This job is too big for him. Done. I guarantee it now, right? I am convinced you get someone with a certain caliber, right? Someone that's experienced some sort of winning in their managerial career, and you give them this Chelsea team and they will take it up. They will take this team upwards at least. We will find ourselves top 4. Minimum. We will. Will we win the league? There are other good teams there. Will we go far in the Champions League? There are other good teams there. You can't just guarantee yourself a trophy or a title. But we're definitely in the conversation, man. We're definitely in the conversation. Not playing like this. That's honestly my assessment of it all. Let me know what you think down below. But I think we've seen enough now. And as a good old wise man once said, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's obvious now. It's time to go. And we'll see what happens against Dortmund, away at Dortmund. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think it's pretty clear what's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. And as I've said, fair play to a lot of the players, that the new ones that came in, that for a certain extent of the game did show what they can do. And we saw glimpses of how well they can play. But overall, the complete mismanagement of the game towards the second half and in the second half, and what was commented after the game was just absolutely atrocious. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Hit the subscribe button if you want to. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. And I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new one. Have a good one, people. See you then. Take care and peace.